One of the items we wanted to try out on this trip were these sandbags, just to see whether they were any good for holding guy lines down on sand. They're meant for use with the gazebo type things that you see at the markets, but we're just intrigued to find out whether they'll work just with ordinary camping gear in a sandy environment. So we're going to give that a go now and see what happens. So first things first, we fill it with sand. And it's just a matter of clipping the guy line to it. We've got a little clip on the end here, one of these easy clip, so you can still use the springs to reduce any shock load that comes from wind. And just drag it back into position. And that's the job done. So we'll wait and see when a bit of wind comes up how well they're going to hold that small awning that we've got on the side of the camper trailer. There is supposed to be a bit of bad weather coming in the next few days, so we need to get ourselves set up so that we can actually open some of our windows while it's raining and not get the wet inside. So that little window there is one of the two that we can open when it's raining. Just gives a bit of airflow, makes life a little bit more comfortable inside the trailer, gives you some more light. We'll see how these Aldi sandbags handle and whether they're up to holding things in place when the wind comes up a bit. As you can see from that one, there's a number of different types of connection. There's some Velcro on there. There's a place to put poles through it. They seem to be fairly well thought out, and we're hoping that in really soft areas and areas that are too hard to put pegs in, they may come in quite handy.
This video is for ladies who accompany their hubbies or partners camping. It's just some of the basic things that I take on a trip, so that I at least take care of my regular skincare routine. Hope it helps. What I did to prepare for this trip was decide what things I'll use most and what things I'll use less. So things like shampoo and soap and all, I decanted into smaller containers, whereas other things that I use regularly I left in its original container. So because water is a premium when camping, I decided that to save on using water, it's best to use micellar facial cleansing wipes. That way I wouldn't have to use any water, and if you don't use any cleansing foam or any sort of soap, you wouldn't have to use water rinsing off. So I decanted some micellar water into a little travel container. This is about 100 ml. And I also brought some micellar cleansing wipes as well. Why this is because you can use it for eyes and face and all that, and you don't really have to worry about that. So I also brought cotton buds. You always need cotton buds on the trip for cleaning your ears and I bring these cotton pads. I rather use this than the squares, because these are all stitched up and they don't fall apart on you, and they're very handy, and you can just use them and throw them away. So in the morning, to avoid using any water, I cleanse my face with some micellar water soaked in the pad, and I use that, and then your face feels fresh because it's like you're using water. So that's what I use. cleanse my face before I put on my moisturizer and my eye cream and all that stuff. I still use my basic things for my skincare. For example, after I cleanse my face with my cellular water, I then use so I bring an eye cream. For me, that's an essential, an eye cream. And during the day, because we're in the sun, I use a moisturizer with SPF. So this one is SPF 30 plus Olay, and I think the neck is always important. So Sunsense SPF 50 plus is what I use, and this you can use for face or neck. So that's what I use during the day. But sometimes if I don't feel that I want to go out, you know, I'm not going to be going out in the sun and I don't want to use a moisturizer with SPF, I will have a moisturizer in a jar that doesn't have any SPF on it. At night, of course, you still use my eye cream, but then I have a small little sample thing of night cream that I use at night. So that's that. Now, since water is a premium, I think the best thing to use is one of the little small soaps that you get from the hotels. And if you can find a little soap container at Op Shop or something, you know, that'll be handy. If not, I'd say, you know, just put your soap or something in one of these snack bags to keep it from messing up the rest of your items in your toiletry bag. So, cake of soap, I reckon. Not body wash, because body wash you'll use too much water. So with soap you can just sort of lather lightly and then sort of use the minimal of water to rinse off. The shampoo, you wouldn't be using much if you're going away for maybe a week, because I shampoo my hair about you know, once every 3 days. So I decanted some shampoo into a hotel container, and this is a 30 ml bottle. So that will be, as you can see, that will well suffice you on a trip that's 2 weeks long. I put conditioner in there. Mind you, I haven't used any conditioner during this trip, but sometimes with the wind and all, your hair gets too knotty and you might want to. Now, I only brought 4 pairs of knickers, and again, we haven't washed any clothes during this trip, so what I use is every day I use panty liners. So that's to save on, you know, using heaps and heaps of knickers. So I reckon panty liners is definitely an essential. If you want to keep fresh under there, a feminine intimate wash definitely to keep fresh there when you have your shower. And also I bring a thing of Listerine for, you know, again for fresh breath after you brush your teeth, because sometimes your mouth gets a bit yucky and you just want to feel fresh. Now my body lotion, I bring in a big bottle because you normally need a lot of body lotion for you to do your body. And this is SPF. This is just a sunscreen. This is when you're out in the sun for your arms and legs, and 100 ml one I think would be, I think it'll be sufficient for a week or two on, you know, at the beach. You don't need to get these huge containers. So again, just in case you get the odd pimple or two, I bring a sort of a pimple cream with me in case I need it. Now I'm very particular about my hands and my nails, so before I came on this trip I read somewhere it's advisable to put some sort of nail polish on your nails. I read that it's better to have nail polish or some sort of coating on your nails to keep the moisture in your nails and to protect it from getting brittle. So I put a clear top coat on my nails before coming on the strip, and I just left it as that. A woman always needs a mirror, so have a compact little mirror so that you can see what you're doing. I have this little manicure set, and I think this is important. It has tweezers, a pair of scissors, a small little emery board, and nail clippers, because sometimes you might break a nail or something and you really would need this. I found that I keep a cuticle trimmer on me, and sometimes when I forget to take it on trips, I regret that, because sometimes you get these hangnails, and the only way of attending to that is with a cuticle trimmer. If not, they'll catch on things on your clothes and stuff like that, so I use a cuticle trimmer. Most women won't bother with this, because I know that most women don't use cuticle oil, but again, this is so light and so cheap on eBay for $1. And it's a cuticle oil in the pen form with a brush. So now and then when you think of it and you're not doing anything and you're just looking out at the sea, just give your cuticles a bit of a brush with cuticle oils and a bit of a rub to keep them in shape. You don't want them drying out and getting ragged and cracked up, and then when you go home, then you can do your whole routine that you normally do to keep them in shape. Dental floss. I always need dental floss. I always use dental floss after I eat, because I definitely need that. Lip balm, and I always suggest use a lip balm that has SPF, and this Maybelline one has SPF 20, but you can get other ones that has SPF 30 as well. This is a cheap bottle that I bought when we went on our trip to Malaysia, and it only cost like between $3 and $5, even though it says Isi Mayaki, which is normally all expensive. We know it's not, but what it is it makes you feel fresh after a shower, and and smell really nice. And of course, my hand cream, which I use regularly, so I leave them in the originals. My Nivea with SPF, again with UVA and UVB filters. This is when I go out, and this is what I use at night, at night or during the day or at home. When I'm not going in the sun. But when I'm driving, definitely when I'm driving and my hands is on the wheel, I always apply this. And for a person that's 60, I suppose, my hands aren't that bad. I think that's all I have to say for my trip. These are my basics. It's up to you what you will take along with you. And depends on how much space you have to take with you, and that's it.
Now preparing the fire pit. Got this little portable thing that I bagged when I first saw it, but it's been pretty good actually. It has rusted as I thought it would. The coating's come off it and it has rusted, but so far so good. It's still doing its job. It's very easy to pack away, folds flat. One of the names they call it is a book fire? I don't know. I'll check into the name later and put the proper name at the bottom of the screen. I've forgotten. Book something, and the other name is X something. X fire, book fire, whatever. There. Anyway. What I'm doing at the moment is using the chimney to get the charcoal going. You may just see a little bit of glowing coming up the sides of that chimney. When it reaches the top, then we pour it all into the fire pit, and that's when the fun begins. We get the potatoes out, pop those in, got those wrapped up in foil with some nice butter inside. Leave those for, I don't know, about 20 minutes or so, and then we get out the steak. Whack the steak on top, get that sizzling nicely, and at the last minute we just throw a few prawns on top, and that's our surf and turf for tonight. Okay, here comes the good bit, or the impressive bit, where we pop the coals into the fire pit. Now the reason I put the chimney back where it was is there's some glowing coals on the floor always when you pick one of those up, so put it back where it was and let those go out and don't let anybody burn their feet. Now, not having done this before, this is an experiment. We've got some carrots wrapped up with butter. We'll turn those over later. And we've got potatoes. Probably need to turn those over at some stage. So we've got potatoes, onions and carrots on the fire. We'll see how they come out. I haven't cooked these on this before. They'll need turning at some point. But the amount of heat that thing puts out is pretty impressive, so see how well it cooks the veggies. If it was a bit later in the evening, you'd see those as nice glowing coals. Unfortunately at the moment they look like black and grey lumps. But as you can see, they're doing their job. Nice sizzling sounds coming out of that fire at the moment. Okay, seems like the taties are done. So now we're just going to quickly do the steaks. Knock all that. Get some pieces off there. That's the bush way to clean your grill, in case you didn't know. Yeah, a bit of junk on there, doesn't matter. It'll get nice and hot in a minute. And here we have the surf and the turf. So we're going to put the prawns on last, of course, because they're going to cook really quickly. We'll get these nice looking steaks sizzling up. Make a bit of salt on there. I'm not a great fan of herbs and spices on things like steak. Let's throw a bit of salt on it and get it sizzling. Now the theory with this is we only need to turn the steaks once, so as the first side is almost done, you only have it on for a couple of minutes per side. Now is the time to chuck the prawns on. Well, we're just about to lose the light. The sun is set, and although there's no fish at the moment in this part of Shark Bay as far as we can find, that's not a bad meal to end the day and to end our first week here. And here we got the result of all that hard work, slaving over a hot stove or slaving over a hot fire pit. Surf and turf, baked potatoes, carrots, onion, some nice banana prawns, Aussie of course,
No, we're fine.
and a lump of steak.